Hey Kath, how are you?
Good, thank you. How are you doing?
Yeah, good, thank you. Thanks so much for uh, sharing your inspirational story tonight with us and the people viewing. Really appreciate it, Kath. So, just for people's background, you're an IT professional and
Mm,
also a mother of two gorgeous kids, Bella, who's 4,
yes.
and Sammy, who's 2. And we first started working together when you were concerned about Bella's immune system and her health not being as good as you thought it could be. She was picking up a lot of
Yeah.
bugs and things. And that
Mm.
was a year ago now.
About maybe a little bit longer. Yeah, it was sort of about maybe 14 months, 16 months ago.
So, Kath, tell me, why did you decide to look more closely at food and the lifestyle choices for Bella in terms of her immune system?
Um, I think one of the things that was happening for me was I was signed up to your newsletter. So I was getting your newsletter without having contact with you through my friend Joe.
Yeah,
Um, but I also had this feeling that we could be doing more. There was just this nagging feeling that, there was something that was not right. And we were not getting advice from doctors or from professionals. And I just felt that I knew she wasn't eating enough of the good stuff. She's a picky eater. And when she got sick, she got really sick, and it was causing a lot of stress for us. We were very, very stressed a lot of the time, and me, I was very anxious, and I just felt like we needed to be more proactive
yeah. So,
about
was
looking
it
after
kind of,
her.
and trusted your instinct that there was more that
Mm,
you could do?
yeah,
So,
definitely.
and what changes did you make? And how long did it take before you kind of saw any changes in her immunity?
Look, I think it's hard to know how long it took because since we made the changes, we haven't had any problems with her. We've had a cold that's lasted a couple of days, some sniffles. We really haven't had to medicate. We haven't had to take her to the doctor, and that's since we started implementing the changes. So for me, I've just seen results almost immediately, and it may be her age, I don't know, but I just felt that as soon as we started eliminating foods and not giving it as a choice, an option for her, we've just cut out a lot of processed stuff, a lot of bread, a lot of mostly sugar, a
Yeah,
lot of sugary foods. The things that are packaged and marketed as healthy, healthy yogurts and healthy this and healthy crackers. We just don't have any of that stuff anymore, and
no.
so she has no choice.
So you
But yeah.
decided, and what was that based on the decision to stop incorporating that food into her diet?
I think the advice that you gave me was about a lot of foods containing gluten and what pressure it puts on their digestive system, and a lot of the health is in the gut, and um, so it was just being more proactive about incorporating veggies and just the nourishing foods, like
Yeah,
really focusing on nourishing foods as opposed to just serving up dinner every night, whether it be a pasta or, a sandwich, and we think it's healthy, but
yeah,
it's not really healthy.
yeah,
So
yeah. And what was the hardest thing, Kath? Because it can be difficult to get kids to have those foods. How did you go about that and make it happen?
I think it's just being consistent. And, when your kids don't want to eat, it's hard as a mother to you think you're letting your kids go hungry, but they're not going to starve. So it's hard to be consistent and and to say, well, that's fine. If you don't want it, don't eat it, but you're not getting anything else, and not
Yeah,
giving them any other choices or options. And eventually, she came around to the fact that that was, it's not bad food, and just give it a go. Now we just have a rule that you don't have to eat it all, but you have to try it.
yeah,
And then she works out that actually that soup doesn't, it actually tastes quite nice, and so she's eating a lot more foods that before there's no way she would touch it. So it's just
fantastic.
not, I suppose, just not being flexible on it, but being encouraging and
And
remaining calm.
Kath, I know I was so impressed. You were very creative in the way you presented meals and calling things fairy dust, and you kind of made a game out of it, which made it
Mm.
kind of more enjoyable and more of a
Yeah.
kind of a game and a challenge for her
Mm.
to enjoy the food, which I think is
Yeah.
really, really important.
Yeah, and I think when they're at that age, they're quite influenced by that, by whoever it is, the fairies or Tinkerbell or this one or that one, and so she believed a lot of the things that I told her about that. So
yeah, no, fantastic. So just as a bit of background for people watching, what were the issues that you were concerned about the most before you sort of took it into your own hands? What were the big concerns?
I think for us, it seemed that every cold she got went to her chest, and so we had a lot of sleepless nights, and I just always felt that she was wheezing and very coughing a lot of fevers, and so I just knew that there are certain foods that affect that area, the respiratory system, and I know that some supplements can help. So I think that was our biggest concern, is that when she got sick, she just didn't seem to get through it really quickly. And I mean, kids get sick, but whereas now her and my son, when they get sick, it kind of passes within 48 hours, and they're not distressed. And I think that for me is good. It reduces the anxiety around it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, obviously their immune system's a bit stronger, that they are coping with it so much more easily. So what was instrumental for you, or in another way, what, I guess, the number one thing that you'd recommend to someone who's looking at improving the health of their family?
Well, look, I've found, which is remarkable, is that I don't even go to the supermarket anymore. I do not buy packaged food. I do not buy biscuits or any of the snacky things. Nothing. We don't have any of that in the house. It's not an option for the kids. I do make biscuits, but I make good biscuits for them if they want like a snacky food. That's what they get. Or I bake a lot. I mean, I'm lucky that I enjoy being in the kitchen. But if it's not in the house and you're not buying it, it's not an option for the kids. And so, and that is a big thing for us, because it's all the outings, and then they've had a packet of biscuits, and then they've had these crackers, or they've had muesli bars, or they've had all that stuff, and they're just filling up on the rubbish, and they're not hungry for the good food.
No, that's right. So how have you managed to be so organised, Kath? Because you're working, you've got kids going to school here and there, different places. What are some of the tricks?
Well, I mean, I'm lucky I've got a Thermomix, and so that helps a lot. And I'm part of the Thermomix community. I bake a lot, using a lot of the recipes. I think another thing that I do is, when I cook at night, I cook a lot, and so we've got food for the next day. So things like having sandwiches. We don't really have sandwiches. We're eating a lot of good homemade food. I'm trying to just be organised, and to plan my meals a lot more, and buy enough to keep us going through the week.
I think that's a big part of it, planning. But also, you say you do a lot of cooking, but do you mean that you actually cook bulk rather than do a lot? You'll just cook once and then eat twice, 3 times, kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. And so, my husband takes good home-cooked food for lunch the next day. He's not having to eat takeaways. If I make pancakes in the morning, I make a big batch, and the kids get that in their lunch boxes, or they have it for their afternoon snack. So, and they're happy. They love that.
Yeah, that's great. And it's kind of like a treat too, isn't it? That's it. But it is being organised, isn't it? Thinking ahead a little bit, and having things on hand, like the pantry stocked, or the freezer with certain things. Makes it easier. So, and Kath, is there anything else you'd like to share? Anything important that you can share to encourage people to, think twice about some of the choices that they're making? And
look, for me, I found it surprising that if you give it a go, you just try it. Because if you'd said to me a year ago that I wasn't going to give any of those things to my kids, I found it was like almost overwhelming. But as soon as you start trying, it's kind of sets off a chain of events. And Dean, my husband's on board, and it's had a knock-on effect with a lot of other areas in our lives. We use a lot of natural products in our home, on our skin. We're very focused, a lot more focused on health, and we're including the whole family in it. I get the kids involved in cooking. I go to the supermarket, I go to the fruit and veg place with my daughter, and I let her choose the things that she wants to eat. And so I'm getting her involved more in the process of cooking and making decisions around.
And where food comes from, and just and cooking it in the kitchen with a bit of love, and making it part of the family. It's just part of life, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So
great.
No, it's been exciting. It's been a good journey for us so far. So
great. I know. Well, it is a journey, and it's ongoing as you learn more and you learn more about your bodies. But Kath, thank you so much. I really appreciate you sharing your experience, and I hope it's really going to inspire a few people that are watching, and get them trying a few different things and getting their family's health back on track. The key messages, I reckon, from what you've said for people is probably, the immune system is closely linked to what we're consuming, what we're exposing ourselves to, and that packaged foods was a big thing in terms of what you did to help improve your health. And is there anything else, like any other key thing you'd like to emphasize?
I just think it's, especially as a mum, it's a gift to give your kids good health and to teach them about making really good choices and having an awareness of their health and their energy, and being able to go out and enjoy all the things they want to do because they're well. So
great. It's so true. It is such. I believe the same. It's such a gift, and it's fundamental. And just on that, I would say that if people are watching and want to learn a bit more about strengthening their children's immune systems, their family's immune system, then I'd really like to remind them that I've got my pilot program, Our Happy Children, kicking off next week. And it's a one-off program. It's really reasonably priced. I'm using it to trial my online program. And it'd be great if they want to join me and learn a little bit more about what you've experienced as well, Kath.
Thank you.
So thank you so much. It's been really, really great. Really appreciate it. And look after yourself. Take care. And we'll catch up soon. Thanks, Kath. Thanks so much.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.